Module 1. Socializing. Unit 1A. Reading and Vocabulary. Exercise 3, page 10.
Breaking the ice. The new girl in your class seems very interesting, and you would like to get to know her better. The guy at the skate park does some amazing tricks, and you would like him to show you how. But whenever the opportunity to talk to them comes up, you can't think of anything to say. Your palms sweat, you blush, and you look away. Whether you are starting a new school, going to a party where you don't know anyone, or want to approach a person you fancy, you often need to break the ice in order to start a friendly conversation. Breaking the ice means saying or doing something to stop feeling shy or uncomfortable around someone you don't know very well. The reason you feel this way is that you don't know how the other person will react. But don't let it get you down. You shouldn't worry. Almost everyone feels uncomfortable when they first meet other people. If you feel this way, the following tips can help you out. Smile. When you smile, people think you are friendly and easy to talk to. They are also very likely to smile back and help you feel more comfortable about starting a conversation. Develop passions. The best way to have interesting conversations is to be an interesting person. Get involved in activities and talk about them. Make sure you have something to add to a conversation. Be positive. Everybody likes to be around happy people. Try to always look on the bright side of life and to see something positive even in negative situations. People will enjoy your positive energy and benefit from it. Also, be confident. If you like yourself, others will probably like you too. Be a good listener. Develop listening skills. Don't take over the conversation and don't only speak about yourself. Ask other people questions about themselves too. This way, they'll know you're interested in them. Get out there. Don't avoid being around new people just because you feel uncomfortable. If you stay in a situation, you'll get used to it. It's not easy, but it's worth it. After all, the other person may want to talk to you as well, but be too shy to break the ice.
Exercise 6, page 11. One.
Optimistic. Pessimistic.
2.
Shy. Confident.
3.
Selfish. Generous.
4.
Reliable. Unreliable.
5.
Stubborn. Flexible.
6.
Sincere. Insincere.
7.
Sensitive. Insensitive.
8.
Sociable. Unsociable.
9.
Patient. Impatient.
10.
Easygoing. Irritable.
Exercise 7, page 11. Anne.
I consider myself to be the sort of person who enjoys other people's company. I like to meet new people and I love to chat.
Sue.
I like to do things my own way, and I don't listen to other people, even if deep down I know that what they are saying makes sense.
Billy.
I don't think there's anything wrong with putting yourself first. I mean, let other people worry about themselves. We've all got our own problems, and I always look after my own needs before I think about anyone else.
Unit 1B, Listening and Speaking. Exercise 3, page 12.
Hello, my name is Harry. Have we met before?
I don't think so. I'm Mary Newton.
Nice to meet you, Mary. Are you new here?
Yes, we've just moved in next door.
Really? Welcome to the neighbourhood then.
Thanks. What's your name? I didn't catch it.
I'm Harry. What a nice day.
Indeed it is. Have you been living here long?
For as long as I remember. My family moved here when I was 3.
Have you got any brothers or sisters?
One sister. And you?
No, I haven't. I'm an only child.
I see. How old are you?
I turn 16 next May.
That makes us the same age.
Great. Maybe we'll have some classes together at school.
Yes, I hope so.
OK, I'll see you Monday then.
Exercise 5B, page 12. I spoke to some young people to find out about their relationship with their family. Speaker 1.
I often feel lonely at home. Both my parents work, so I spend a lot of time alone. It's not that I don't have anything to do, but I'm desperate for some company. If I had a brother or a sister, my life would be a lot different.
Speaker 2.
Many of my friends complain about their parents being old-fashioned and strict. Luckily, I don't have such problems at home. I can discuss anything that troubles me with my parents without being afraid that they will criticize me.
Speaker 3.
I live with my parents, my 2 sisters and brother, and my grandparents. I never feel bored or lonely at home, but I sometimes wish I could do my own thing without being interrupted by anyone.
Speaker 4.
I believe old people are great company. You can learn a lot from them about the past, and they can give you useful advice about the present. I enjoy spending time with my grandparents, and I visit them regularly for lunch.
Speaker 5.
I find communicating with my parents almost impossible. Dinner time is the only opportunity for us to see each other and discuss things, but we always end up fighting over something. They seem incapable of seeing things from my point of view.
Exercise 5B, page 12. I spoke to some young people to find out about their relationship with their family. Speaker 1.
I often feel lonely at home. Both my parents work, so I spend a lot of time alone. It's not that I don't have anything to do, but I'm desperate for some company. If I had a brother or a sister, my life would be a lot different.
Speaker 2.
Many of my friends complain about their parents being old-fashioned and strict. Luckily, I don't have such problems at home. I can discuss anything that troubles me with my parents without being afraid that they will criticize me.
Speaker 3.
I live with my parents, my 2 sisters and brother, and my grandparents. I never feel bored or lonely at home, but I sometimes wish I could do my own thing without being interrupted by anyone.
Speaker 4.
I believe old people are great company. You can learn a lot from them about the past, and they can give you useful advice about the present. I enjoy spending time with my grandparents, and I visit them regularly for lunch.
Speaker 5.
I find communicating with my parents almost impossible. Dinner time is the only opportunity for us to see each other and discuss things, but we always end up fighting over something. They seem incapable of seeing things from my point of view.
Exercise 6A, page 13. One,
Excuse me.
Yes, can I help you?
2,
Pleased to meet you.
I'm John. Pleased to meet you too.
3,
Is this seat taken?
No, please sit down.
4. What a nice day.
Indeed it is.
5,
Good morning.
Hello.
6,
How are you?
Fine, thanks.
7.
I'm afraid I have to go now.
See you later. 8,
Make yourself at home.
That's very kind.
9,
Can I offer you something?
No thanks, I'm fine.
10.
Thanks for coming.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Exercise 8, page 13. One,
How's it going?
Couldn't be better.
2,
Talk to you later.
Take care.
3,
I'm glad you came.
So am I.
4,
Thank you very much.
Don't mention it.
5.
I haven't seen you for ages.
I know, you haven't changed a bit. Exercise 9, page 13.
One A. Excuse me. 1B. Excuse me. 2A. What's up? 2B. What's up? 3A. Is this seat taken? 3B. Is this seat taken?
Unit 1D, Vocabulary and Speaking. Exercise 6, page 17.
Hey, Jane, I hear you've got a new neighbour. What does she look like?
She's very tall and has long, brown, straight hair. She's also slim and rather pretty.
She sounds great.
Yes, she's a lovely girl. She's friendly and has a great sense of humour too. Oh, and she loves photography, just like me.
What's her name?
Laura. Laura Smith.
Who was that man I saw you with in the town centre last week?
Which one?
He was a bit on the plump side and not very handsome.
I can't think who you mean. Did he have a beard and a moustache?
Yes, and he was almost bald.
That was my uncle Roger. We were shopping for shoes.
Have you met the professor at college yet?
No, why? Is she nice?
She is, actually. She's very talkative, not dull and boring like Mrs. Brown. The whole class wasn't falling asleep for once during the lesson.
That's good. I saw a short, thin woman going into your classroom earlier. Was that the new teacher?
No, Mrs. Jones is in her early 50s, has short white hair, and is about average height.
I look forward to meeting her.
Who's that young man over there?
Which one?
The one with short curly fair hair and green eyes.
Is he holding a rucksack?
Yes, he is.
That's my cousin, Bill.
Culture Corner 1. Socialising in the UK. Exercise 2, page 21.
Social etiquette in the UK. The British are famous for their language, sense of humour, and of course politeness. So, when you are in the UK, make sure you respect the social etiquette in the following situations. British people are quite reserved when greeting one another. A handshake is the most common form of greeting when you meet someone for the first time. It is only when you greet close friends or relatives that you would kiss them on the cheek or give them a hug. The British may also call you by many different affectionate names, such as dear, chuck, mate, gov, son or madam. Do not be offended, this is quite normal. The British like their privacy, so not all topics are safe for small talk. Avoid asking people about their age, religion, politics, marital status, weight, or how much they earn. Instead, acceptable small talk topics are family, films, television, sport, studies, food, hobbies, and of course the weather. When you visit people at home, make sure you're on time. It's also nice to take a gift for your hosts, such as a bottle of wine, a bunch of flowers, or a box of chocolates. A British person might say, "Come and see me soon," or "Drop in any time." However, you must always phone before you visit someone.
PSHE, Across the Curriculum, 1. Exercise 1, page 22.
Good morning. Nice day.
Dim.
Sorry,
Glad.
hadn't.
Had.
Go.
Stay.
Work.
Play.
Pro.
Con.
Off.
On.
Front.
Back.
Taught.
Slack.
Open.
Shut.
And.
But.
Over.
Under.
Cloudless.
Thunder.
Detour.
Highway.
New way.
Throughway.
Byway.
My way.
Exercise 5, page 23.
Dealing with conflict. Losing friends is about as easy as making friends if you don't know how to deal with anger and conflict. Conflict is part of everyone's life. It will show up at school, at work, and at home. It's okay to feel angry, frustrated, annoyed, disappointed, or sad. These feelings are natural, but it's how you deal with them that makes the difference. Some people scream, shout, swear, call people names, try to get back at or even hit the person who has hurt them. Others do their best to keep away from disagreements, but very few deal with conflicts successfully. Resolving conflict is a step-by-step process. Before you start discussing the problem, cool off, count to 10, take a deep breath, and imagine a relaxing place. Then say what's really bothering you. While doing that, watch how you express yourself. Don't blame or accuse. Share how you feel by using I statements. For example, don't say, "You are always bossing me around," but "I feel frustrated because you don't pay attention to what I think." You want people to hear your opinion, so make sure you practice what you preach. Listen carefully to the other person and accept that he or she might see the problem in a different way. Be flexible and open-minded, willing to apologize, forgive, and move on.
Exercise 2, page 26. Exercise 3A, page 26. Lunchtime at school and you're heading for the canteen. But what will you have to eat? Will you have a sandwich and an apple? Or maybe a hot meal? Things are a little different in Japan. Children open their lunch boxes to find rice shaped like footballs, eggs that look like rabbits, or flower-shaped carrots all packed up in an obento. An obento, or bento, is one of the oldest food traditions in Japan. Basically, it is lunch served in a box. Obento boxes have been part of the Japanese society since the 5th century, when people used to take a packed lunch with them to work. Bentos have become very popular since then, and you can buy them almost anywhere nowadays, at theatres, airports, and even at train stations. An obento usually consists of 4 parts rice, 3 parts meat or fish, fried or grilled, 2 parts vegetables, pickled, boiled or steamed, and 1 part fruit. It should be nourishing and healthy, but it must be appealing too. You often see food shaped like flowers, animals, and sometimes even cartoon characters. Mothers take great pride in creating school bentos for their children. Nursery schools have established regulations for an obento. Food should be easy to eat with chopsticks or the fingers, portions should be small, and it should be pleasing to the eye. It should also include food that the child would not normally eat, so that they won't become a fussy eater. The Japanese have always looked upon the mother as one of the main influences of a child's success. Taking time to prepare their children's food shows their love for them. And what happens if a Japanese mum runs out of ideas? There are almost 400 magazines available to get inspired. Unit 2B, Listening and Speaking. Exercise 1, page 28. One.
Excuse me, can you tell me how to get to the menswear department, please?
Certainly. It's on the 3rd floor. You can take the lift, which is on your left, or the escalator over there.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
2.
Excuse me, how much is this cassette player?
It is £7.50, but I'll let you have it for a £5.
I'm not sure.
It's in very good condition. It was my son's and he has looked after it. I'll even throw in a couple of tapes for free.
Oh, all right then. £5. Here you are.
3.
Let's go in this boutique. I want to look at that dress.
All right, but don't take ages. I want to go to the bookshop.
OK. Then we can go for a coffee. There's a nice coffee shop on the upper level.
Right, agreed.
Exercise 5, page 29.
What nice sunglasses. Are they new?
Yes, I bought them a couple of days ago. I'm glad you like them.
They really suit you. Where did you get them?
At Stacey's, in the town centre.
Whereabouts is it exactly?
In Crimpson Street, opposite the bakery.
Were they very expensive?
No, not at all. They were only £2.
That's a bargain. I think I'll go and have a look myself on Saturday. We can go together if you like.
Great! 10:30 at the bus station.
OK, see you there.
Exercise 6, page 29.
Fed up with going to the same old shops all the time? Want somewhere new to hang out with your friends? Then get down to Camden Stables Market for hours of shopping fun. Whether you love keeping up with the latest fashions or are looking for a gift for someone, you can find everything from jewellery to antiques. If you get hungry, you can head to the international food stalls and grab a bite to eat. You'll probably need something to eat after making your way around the 500 shops and stalls in the market. The market is open 7 days a week from 9:30 to 5:30, so finding a time to visit should be easy. You can drop by after school or at the weekend. Just hop off the train at Chalk Farm Underground Station on the Northern Line. See you there!
Exercise 7, page 29. One. Are they new? 2. Were they expensive? 3. Where did you get them from? 4. Whereabouts is it exactly? Exercise 8, page 29. One.
Can I help you?
No, I'm just looking, thanks.
2.
How would you like to pay?
By credit card.
3. Have you got it in a small?
Let me have a look.
4.
Do you like the colour?
Not really. Have you got it in blue?
Unit 2D, Vocabulary and Speaking. Exercise 7A and B. Page 33. One.
Do you want to go and get something to eat?
Yeah. Do you have anywhere in mind?
We could try that new sushi place next to the post office.
Sorry, but I don't really feel like sushi. Do you know anywhere else?
What about that Italian restaurant opposite the university?
Right. Have you been there before?
Yes, we went after class the other day, and I ate like a horse.
Really?
Yes. First of all, there were so many dishes to choose from. The food was great, and the portions were huge. I was really full when we finished. Plus, the staff are friendly and fun.
Why waste another minute then? Let's get going.
Two.
What do you think about that new restaurant down the road?
Oh, I wouldn't recommend it. We went there the other day and it was a total letdown.
Why? What's wrong with it?
First of all, there was a really long queue. It took us 45 minutes to get seated.
Really? Was the service quick at least?
No, the service was really bad. The waiter mixed up our order. He also spilled Coke all over me. My white shirt was totally ruined.
Oh no. What about the food?
It was so spicy that I barely touched anything. When we left, I was still hungry.
And the prices?
At first we thought it was ridiculously expensive, but then we realised that they overcharged us. After sorting that out, the prices turned out to be reasonable, but I'm not going back there ever again.
I can see why.
Culture Corner 2. Exercise 3, page 37.
Charity begins at home. It is said that charity begins at home, and people in the UK seem to have put these words into practice. Their enthusiasm for helping others shows in the 187,000 charity organisations that exist in the country. Some of the most famous ones are Oxfam, Age Concern, the RSPCA, the British Heart Foundation, and Marie Curie Cancer Care. People donate money to charity organisations or volunteer to help them raise money. Many of these organizations run charity shops. The first charity shop in the United Kingdom was established by Oxfam in Broad Street, Oxford. Oxfam has the largest number of charity shops in the UK, with over 800 stores. Charity shops sell goods at very low prices. The items for sale are usually second-hand and donated by members of the public. These include books, records, CDs, clothes, accessories, household items, furniture, and costumes for special occasions such as Halloween. There are bargains for everyone. Some charity shops also sell new goods that are somehow related to the cause they support. In Oxfam stores, for example, you can find fair trade food and crafts. The staff who work at charity shops are volunteers, so most of the profits from the sales go towards the charity. In the U.S., where charity shops are called thrift stores, this kind of shopping is so popular that it has got its own word. It's called thrifting.
Going Green, 2. Exercise 3, page 38.
Paper bag versus plastic bag. Where does it come from? Paper. As you know, paper comes from trees. But you may not know that it takes about 3 tons of wood chips to get 1 ton of paper pulp. Can you imagine the number of trees needed every year just to make paper? You might also be surprised to know that we wash, bleach, and color this paper pulp using chemicals that harm the environment. Plastic. Plastic comes from oil. Now, we all know that the oil industry causes pollution. Furthermore, the manufacturing of plastic bags uses a lot of electricity, which is not good for the environment. Where does it end its life? Paper. Your paper bag can end up in a landfill site, where it will take years to break down. If you take it to a recycling center, it means more energy and chemicals are used. Either way, there's waste. Plastic. Like paper, plastic bags often end up in landfills. In fact, in the UK, for example, we recycle only 1 in 200 plastic bags. So, what happens to the rest? We throw them away. A plastic bag takes more than 1,000 years to decompose. In the meantime, plastic bags cause over 100,000 sea turtles and other marine animals to die every year, when animals mistake them for food. The verdict. We use large amounts of natural resources to make both paper and plastic bags. Both bags end up in the landfill anyway. So neither of them is the winner. The best way to carry your shopping and protect the environment at the same time is to choose a reusable fabric bag. Reusable bags take minimal energy to make, are light, and last for years.
Module 3, Great Minds. Unit 3A, Reading and Vocabulary. Exercise 1, page 42.
Animals in the air. Can you believe that the history of the hot air balloon all began with a sheep, a duck, and a chicken? One day in 1777, Joseph Montgolfier was relaxing in front of the fire with his laundry drying nearby. After a while, he noticed that one of his shirts had started to float upwards. The young man was curious about what was happening, so he threw some small pieces of paper into the fireplace to see if the same thing happened to them. When he saw them coming out of the chimney, he came to the conclusion that smoke had the power to lift things up and carry them through the air. Joseph loved science and wanted to become an inventor, so he started trying to think of a craft that would be able to capture smoke and heat and lift people off the ground. Along with his brother Jacques, he began performing experiments on something that later became the first hot air balloon. The Montgolfier brothers quickly realized that it was heat and not smoke that had the power to lift things. On the 19th of September 1783, they presented their first hot air balloon, which was made from paper and cloth. They burned some straw underneath it, and the heat helped the balloon to float. As this was its first trip, the Montgolfier brothers were too nervous to go up in the balloon themselves. So instead, they put a sheep, a duck, and a chicken in the basket that hung below the balloon for the 2-mile journey. The new invention was a great success, and the animals landed safe and sound. A huge crowd, including some members of the French royal family, gathered to watch the balloon floating high in the sky. Shortly afterwards, the brothers asked the king for permission to send men up in the balloon. The king agreed, and the first flight, consisting of human passengers, took place in Paris on the 21st of November 1783, with great success. The balloon reached heights of around 150 metres as it floated over the Paris rooftops, starting a long tradition of hot air ballooning.
Unit 3B, Listening and Speaking. Exercise 2A, page 44. One.
Bob gets to travel a lot, but that's okay. A desk job isn't for him.
2. John works Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. It's a full-time job. 3.
The hours are unpredictable. My father often has to work overtime.
4.
My brother doesn't have to wear a uniform at work.
5.
Jim's father is very well paid. His salary is £30,000 a year.
6.
Tom's mother has just got a pay rise. Now she's on £1,850 a month.
7.
They often have to meet tough deadlines, but they manage.
8.
Anne often works the night shift. It's tiring, but she doesn't mind.
9.
Now that Jenny has children, she works part-time from 4 to 8 every weekday.
10.
She works as a freelancer from home.
Unit 3B, Exercise 3A, page 44.
What does your mum do for a living?
She works as a personal assistant to the general manager of a computer company.
Is it part-time?
No, she works 9 to 5, Monday to Friday.
What exactly does the job involve?
She makes travel arrangements for her boss and she gets in touch with different clients around the country.
What's the pay like?
The money's great. She gets over £20,000 a year. She also gets a 3-week holiday every summer.
Exercise 5, page 45. One.
How long has he been out of work?
4 months.
2.
How's your mum finding her new job?
It's very hard.
3. How are things at work?
The same as ever.
4.
Working evening shifts must be tiring for your dad.
He's got used to it.
5.
He's got a job as a sales assistant.
What does the job involve?
Exercise 6B, page 45.
Good afternoon, Miss Shields. Are you here about the part-time shop assistant job?
That's right.
Great. I have a few questions to ask you, so please take a seat.
Thank you.
Firstly, I see you are still at school. Are you over 16 yet?
Oh yes, I turned 16 a month ago.
Now, we need someone who is enthusiastic and well-organised.
I'm definitely both of those things. Well, according to my teachers anyway.
Now, talking of teachers, we would need you to work flexible hours. Do you think the job would interrupt your lessons?
No, I'm sure I can manage it. Remember, I'm very well organised.
So, is there anything you would like to ask me about the job?
Yes, actually. What sort of duties will I have to carry out?
Oh, lots of things. You will have to serve customers and take payments and much more.
I was a little worried, as I haven't worked in a baker's before.
There's no need to worry. You don't need to have any previous experience, and we will train you when you start. One last thing you might like to know is that the pay is £5.50 an hour.
Oh, that's great. Thank you very much.
OK. When do you think you can start?
Exercise 7A, page 45.
The dog ate the book.
The dog ate what? What did the dog eat? The dog did what? Unit 3D, Vocabulary and Speaking. Exercise 2, page 48.
Marie Curie was born Maria Sklodowska in Warsaw, Poland in 1867. She was the youngest of 5 children. Her parents worked as teachers, and they brought her up to love learning. Her mother died in 1877. Mania, as they called her, and her sisters had to get jobs. Manya became a tutor for a family. She enjoyed her time there and could send money to her father and her sister Bronya, who was studying medicine in Paris. When her sister got married, she invited Manya to live with them and study at the Sorbonne. It was then that she changed her name to Marie. Marie studied physics and maths and got her master's degree in both subjects. When she graduated from university, she started research into magnetism. It was at that time she met Pierre Curie, a young scientist. They fell in love immediately and got married. Marie moved to his house and they both started examining uranium and other elements to decide whether they were radioactive. It took them 4 years to isolate the radioactive source, which she named radium. For this, they won a Nobel Prize in Physics in 1903. In 1906, her husband died in an accident, and Marie got the position they had offered him at the Sorbonne. In 1911, she got a Nobel Prize in Chemistry. During World War I, she designed the first mobile X-ray machine and travelled with it along the front lines. Marie died in July 1934 in Paris. She died of radiation poisoning. She worked hard and proved that if a person keeps to their goals, they will succeed. For her, success came with the 2 Nobel Prizes she received, and the fact that she was the first woman to ever get one. We all owe her our respect and admiration.
Exercise 4A, page 48. A. Infant, baby, 0 to 1 years. B. Toddler, 2 to 3 years. C. Child, 4 to 12 years. D. Teenager, 13 to 19 years. E. Adult, 20 to 59 years. F. Senior citizen, 60 years plus. Exercise 5A, page 49. One.
Sheila studied law and got her degree a year ago. She's now working as a lawyer. While at university, she met James. They got married in 2 months' time.
2.
My aunt and her husband had a child recently, so they decided to move to a bigger house.
3.
My elder brother decided to leave his job as a sales assistant and start his own business.
4.
When my mother gets her driving licence, she will buy a new car.
5. My best friend will change schools because her parents have accepted new jobs. They will be moving next month. Exercise 6A, page 49. Speaker 1.
A year ago, my husband got a great new job. But there was only one problem. It was 300 miles away. We had to move house and leave behind our friends and family. But we don't regret it. It was difficult for the first few months, but now we love it here.
Speaker 2.
I loved my job at first, but I slowly realized that I had no future there. There was no chance of being promoted or earning more money. So I applied for a job at another company, and here I am now, in a new job with more money and responsibility.
Speaker 3.
My family is very close, so I found it difficult when I had to go to university. The course I wanted to do was miles away, so I had to leave home and go and live near the university. I was very upset when I left, but after a while I began to enjoy myself. Of course, it's still difficult being away from my family, but I visit them most weekends.
Speaker 4.
At first, I was really excited about finding my own flat, but after a while, I found it difficult to afford the bills. So, I tried to find someone to share the flat with. I eventually found Sophia. She is a wonderful girl, and we have become great friends, and I don't have to worry about money so much anymore.
Speaker 5.
Grandpa had never lived on his own, so we were really worried about him. We checked on him every day, but he kept forgetting things, and one day he left the tap on in the bathroom and water went everywhere. In the end, he came to live with us. It was the perfect solution to the problem.
Unit 3E, Writing Skills. Exercise 1B, page 50.
An unusual gallery. It was a beautiful afternoon in the woods near the village of Montignac. The sky was blue and autumn leaves covered the ground. 4 friends strolled happily among the tall trees, telling stories about treasures that people had hidden in the forest. As they were walking, one of the boys fell over. When the others ran to help him, they saw that there was a hole in the ground. Could this be a tunnel with hidden treasures in it? The boys started to dig, trying to make the hole bigger so that they could climb in and have a look. By this time, though, it was getting dark, and they didn't have a torch, so they decided to come back early the next day. They returned to the woods before school. One by one, the boys lit their torches and crawled into the small dark tunnel. After about 10 minutes, the boy who was at the front let out a loud gasp. When he pointed his torch at the wall, everyone was amazed to see the walls covered with colourful pictures of horses, deer and oxen. The friends ran quickly to school and told their teacher all about their fantastic discovery. She called an expert, who went immediately to examine the paintings. Later that day, their teacher asked the boys to stay behind after school. They thought that they had done something wrong, but they were relieved when they saw their teacher's smiling face. The expert had confirmed that the boys were the first modern people to lay eyes upon the famous Lascaux paintings, which were at least 17,000 years old. They felt really proud.
Culture Corner 3. Exercise 2B, page 53.
English banknotes. All the banknotes in the UK have a portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the front and a famous historical person on the back. Read on to find out more. The £5 note, or fiver, is blue and green in colour and has a portrait of Elizabeth Fry on the back. Fry made her name by improving living conditions for women in European prisons. The main illustration on the note shows her reading to female prisoners in Newgate Prison. The £10 note, or tenner, is orange in colour. It was first issued in 1759. Since 2000, Victorian naturalist Charles Darwin, who developed the theory of evolution, has been on the back of the note. You can also see Darwin's ship, the HMS Beagle, as well as various flowers and animals he came across on his travels, in particular the hummingbird. The £20 note is purple, and up until very recently it had a picture of British composer Sir Edward Elgar on the back. The new £20 note shows Adam Smith, one of the fathers of modern-day economics. The £50 note is red and has a picture of Sir John Houblon on the back. Houblon was the first governor of the Bank of England. This note also shows an image of Houblon's house in Threadneedle Street, London, which is the site of the bank's present-day building.
History. Across the curriculum. 3. Exercise 2, page 54.
The Master Thief of the Unknown World. In 1577, 5 ships left Plymouth with Francis Drake and 160 other men on board to sail around the world. 3 years later, only 1 ship, the Golden Hind, returned to England. After crossing the Atlantic, Drake left 2 ships on the east coast of South America. With the 3 remaining ships, he then found a new route around the bottom of the continent. But when they reached the Pacific, violent storms destroyed one of the ships and caused another to turn back to England. Next, the Golden Hind sailed north along the coast of South America, attacking Spanish ports. This was because at that time the Spanish controlled all the gold from the New World, and Drake wanted it. Drake also captured Spanish ships and stole their maps and treasure. The Spanish called him the Master Thief of the Unknown World. Finally, Drake sailed to North America and then crossed the Pacific to the Moluccas Islands in the southwest. Eventually, he sailed round the southern tip of Africa and arrived in England in September 1580. When Drake returned, he was knighted by Elizabeth I. He was the first Englishman to sail around the world. He had made many discoveries and had brought back an amazing fortune in treasure.
Module 4. Be Yourself. Unit 4A. Reading and Vocabulary. Exercise 7, page 59.
Do you feel at home in your body? It can't be me. It's Monday morning, and while you are getting dressed, you're looking at yourself in the mirror. I'm too skinny. I'd like to put on a little weight and be a bit taller and more muscular, you think. I also wouldn't mind thicker hair, longer legs, better teeth, and a smaller nose. Speaking of my nose, is that a pimple on it? Oh, here we go again. I can't go out. I can't stand people staring at me. Growing up. Do these remarks sound familiar? Almost everyone would like to change something about their bodies. Teenagers feel that way quite often because their bodies change while they're growing up. As your body changes, so does the way you feel about your physical appearance. Your body image often affects the opinion you have of yourself. Don't compare. As your body matures, you may think that it draws attention to you, and you may feel uncomfortable. You may also compare yourself to your friends to see if you are normal. But growing up doesn't happen at the same speed for everyone. Girls usually start changing sooner than boys. Sometimes they suddenly put on weight as their bodies need fat to grow. On the other hand, boys notice their shoulders getting wider and their voices getting deeper. These changes usually take place over 2 to 5 years. Magazine adverts. Media images from TV, movies, and advertising may also affect your self-esteem. Women and girls on TV and in magazines are usually thin, while men look strong and very muscular. This can make you believe that something is wrong with you if you don't look this way. Media images may also put pressure on you to go on extreme diets or become obsessed with weight training. Remember that it's more important to exercise regularly and eat healthily than to try to change your body to fit an unrealistic image. Adverts sell fantasy and vanity, not reality. Believe in yourself. Although you may often think that your classmates notice every single pimple on your face or every single pound you gain, this is not the case. What they notice is how you feel about yourself. You need to focus on the things you like about yourself and walk with confidence. If you like yourself and the way you look, other people will too.
Unit 4B. Listening and Speaking. Exercise 3, page 60. One.
How about those trousers? They fit you perfectly.
Yes, but they're too casual for the occasion.
2.
What about the red shirt? It matches your trousers.
You're right. I haven't worn it for ages.
3.
This dress is great. Why don't you try it on?
The colour doesn't suit me.
4.
What do you think of this shirt?
It doesn't go with the trousers.
Exercise 5, page 61.
I can't believe you aren't ready yet, Lisa. The party starts in less than an hour.
I don't know what to wear. Would you mind helping me out?
OK. Did you have anything in mind?
I was thinking of wearing my baggy trousers and that purple shirt I got for my birthday. What do you think?
Those clothes are far too casual. Why don't you wear your black trousers with that nice velvet top instead?
They don't fit me anymore. I've grown taller lately and they are too short for me now. Besides, I don't have any shoes that match.
What about that black silk dress?
I haven't worn that for ages, but why not? Thanks for your advice, Clive. You're the best brother in the world. By the way, when are you going to get dressed?
I'm already dressed.
Hang on a minute. You're not wearing those scruffy old jeans to the party, are you?
Well, I was going to. But seeing as you look so smart, can you help me choose something else?
Sure.
Exercise 8, page 61. Thanks for coming to the mall with me, Steve. I don't like shopping on my own.
No problem, Anne. So, what do you want to buy today?
Well, I want to wear something really special at my birthday party tomorrow. I have a nice black skirt and I want a black shirt to match.
Why black? I mean, it suits you, but how about choosing something in a brighter colour?
I don't think it would look formal enough.
I see. We'd better hurry, though, because the shops will be closing in an hour. You kind of left your shopping till the last minute.
I know, but I have a particular shop in mind where I buy most of my clothes. It won't take us long to find something there.
Where is it then?
Right here.
But it's closed.
Oh no! But wait a minute, there's a notice on the door. It says that it's moved to the second floor.
Thank goodness. Let's go.
Good afternoon. May I help you?
Yes, I'm looking for a black shirt. Have you got any?
Yes, we have this one here, or this one.
Anne, look at this yellow one. It's lovely.
Yellow? Oh, I don't know, Steve.
Come on, just try it on. You might like it.
Oh, OK then. Have you got this in a medium?
Yes, here you are. The fitting rooms are over there.
Anne, this looks great on you.
Yes, doesn't it? I think I'll have it.
Great. You'll certainly look fabulous tomorrow.
Exercise 10, page 61. Excellent. Disgusting. Amazing. Brilliant. Dreadful. Unit 4D, Vocabulary and Speaking. Exercise 2B, page 64.
Altered images. Look at the posters on your bedroom wall. Brad Pitt has got great skin, hasn't he? Penelope Cruz has got a fantastic figure, right? The truth is, no, they haven't. At least not all the time. Film stars, pop stars and models have bad days too, just like everyone else. They get spots and blemishes every now and then, and they put on a few extra pounds from time to time too. So how come we never see those photos? Well, to start with, advertisers think that we don't want to see pictures of people looking less than perfect. What's more, the stars themselves pay their publicists lots of money to make sure their pictures are perfect every time. This means that every photo we see on the cover of a glossy magazine has been retouched. Stomachs are flatter, legs are longer, lips are fuller, and waists are slimmer. Although we know this, we still can't help comparing ourselves to these unlikely images and feeling unhappy about the way we look. What we should do is say, "Wow, this photo is really phony," and laugh at the fake beauty we see in media images, or better still, ignore them altogether. No one looks perfect 100% of the time, and we shouldn't let the media influence how we feel about ourselves.
Unit 4F, English in Use. Exercise 2, page 68.
This clothes shop has just opened. Let's go in and have a look.
Okay, I know you're addicted to shopping.
I want to buy a new dress for a change.
This one's nice.
No, the colour doesn't appeal to me. I know purple is popular with teenagers this year, but I never pay much attention to the latest trends.
Well, I think you'd look good in this green one. It matches your eyes.
Yes, I like it, and it's sure to always be in fashion. I'll buy it.
Culture Corner 4. Exercise 2, page 69.
Traditional costumes in the British Isles. Irish traditional costumes make you think of Irish folk dancing. Female dancers wear a long-sleeved dress, knee-high white socks and black shoes. The colourful patterns on the dresses are based on Celtic designs. Probably the best-known traditional costume in the UK is the Scottish kilt, with its distinctive tartan pattern. Kilts were pleated woolen skirts, worn only by men, and fastened in front with a special pin. A goatskin bag, called a sporran, was worn around the waist, and a cloak was draped over one shoulder. Each clan or family had its own tartan design. The kilt is still worn on special occasions today. What everyone recognises about the Welsh costume is its tall black hat, or beaver hat, worn over a lace cap. Women, in the past, wore it with a long full skirt and a white apron. A shawl, usually red, was worn around the shoulders. The outfit was complete with black shoes and stockings, and ladies carried a basket. Morris dancing, with its traditional costumes, is a familiar sight in England. These dances are performed outdoors in country villages during the summer. The dancers wear white trousers, a loose white shirt, and a pad of bells around the bottom half of the leg. Their hats are decorated with ribbons and flowers, and they wave handkerchiefs in the air as they dance.
Going Green 4. Exercise 5, page 70.
Eco-clothes. Take a look at the clothes you are wearing. Are they made from natural fabrics, such as cotton, linen or silk, or from synthetic fabrics, like nylon or polyester? Which type of fabric do you think is more environmentally friendly, natural or synthetic? You may be surprised by the answer. Most people believe that natural fabrics are better for the environment than synthetic ones, but this isn't always true. For example, while it only takes a pound of cotton to make one t-shirt, it takes 1/3 of a pound of pesticides to grow the cotton in the first place. Then, the cotton may be treated with all kinds of chemicals to change the colour. Unfortunately, all of these chemicals end up as waste, which contaminates our rivers and soil. So what is the best thing to do? Well, when it comes to buying new clothes these days, you don't have to worry, as you can simply choose to buy organic. This means buying clothes that are produced in a way that causes as little harm to the environment as possible. Here are some of the different options on offer. Bamboo clothing is as soft as cashmere and allows your skin to breathe. It also keeps you cool in hot weather and warm in cold weather. Eco-fleece is a kind of polyester from recycled plastic bottles. At the recycling centre, the plastic is washed, chopped and turned into flakes, which are then melted, made into fibres and woven into cosy pullovers. Linen grows more quickly than cotton and needs fewer chemicals to produce it. It doesn't take a lot of effort to be naturally fashionable, so why not give it a try?
Module 5. Global Issues. Unit 5A. Reading and Vocabulary. Exercise 1, page 74. Exercise 2, page 74.
Tsunami disaster. A ship carrying 350 tons of rice, water, tinned fish and other supplies arrived at Nias, Indonesia today, and we have already started distributing food to the people. Unfortunately, cracked roads and collapsed bridges are making it very difficult. In the meantime, we keep searching for more survivors. In the early hours of Thursday, we managed to find a 13-year-old girl who was still alive. She had been buried underneath a 5-story building for 52 hours. Jason.
I was lying on the beach sunbathing when I suddenly noticed huge waves. Before I knew it, the water had reached me. I started to run, but I couldn't, because the water was up to my knees. People around me were screaming. A few seconds later, I was under the water. Pieces of wood were hitting me. Luckily, a man who was on a palm tree pulled me out of the water onto the tree. After a few hours, we were rescued by some local men and taken to the hospital. Bill.
At the hotel, my colleagues and I were helping injured people. We gave them emergency first aid before they were taken to hospital. Some of the injuries we had to treat were quite horrific. The streets outside were littered with fallen palm trees and huge pieces of wood and metal. Sue.
An earthquake that occurred at 7:59 local time under the Indian Ocean generated the biggest tsunami the world has seen in the last 40 years. The massive waves have killed over 10,000 people in southern Asia. Thousands have lost their homes. This must be one of the worst natural disasters in recent history. Alex.
Unit 5B. Listening and Speaking. Exercise 3, page 76.
We spoke to some young people to find out their opinion about some current global issues.
Speaker 1.
I know it seems hard to believe in this day and age, but in some parts of the world, people don't even have clean water to drink. They can become ill really easily and die. Also, many children around the world die from infections or illnesses that could be prevented by giving them the proper medicine.
Speaker 2.
There have been a number of large-scale disasters around the world lately which have destroyed many people's homes and left them with nowhere to live. That's why I think an international emergency housing charity or scheme should be set up to help rebuild them.
Speaker 3.
Extreme weather is one result of climate change, which is what happens when the planet heats up. We all need to do our bit to help cool the planet down and stop the Earth's temperature from rising any more.
Speaker 4.
I have a part-time job because I choose to work to earn some extra money. But I would not like to have to do hard labour all day, every day for very little pay from the age of 6 or something to look after my family. That's just not fair.
Speaker 5.
It's terrible. One by one, all the animals will die out until there are only humans left. There may be animals we haven't even discovered yet, and we never will because they have been wiped out by mankind.
Speaker 6.
National and international conflict and warfare has caused more death and destruction than anything else in the history of the world. We should all learn to live in peace and stop starting wars over political or religious differences. Why can't people just agree to disagree?
Exercise 5A, page 77.
I saw a documentary on TV last night, and it really opened my eyes about poverty in the developing world.
Really?
Yes, it's shocking. For example, did you know that half the people in the world live on less than $2 a day? That's nearly 3 billion people.
Really? I didn't know that.
It's true. And what's more, 30,000 children die every day around the world because of lack of food and medicine and a permanent home.
Goodness me, that's terrible.
It is, isn't it?
So what can we do to help?
Well, I think the problem happens because people don't get a good education.
Yes, I think you're probably right.
And if people don't get a good education, then they can't find jobs.
True. And if they aren't able to find jobs, then they can't earn any money.
Exactly. I think the government should set up better schools.
I agree. They could also have a system which trains people for jobs.
Yes, both solutions would certainly help the situation.
Exercise 6, page 77. One.
We shouldn't cut down forests.
I suppose you're right.
2.
We need to recycle more.
Absolutely. You are right.
3.
You mustn't take pictures in here.
I had no idea.
Exercise 7, page 77. 1. What are you looking at? 2. I didn't know such things existed. 3. Yes, they have been around for a while now. 4. For lots of reasons. 5. They certainly can't all fit in there. 6. And look, it is so small and easy to park. Unit 5D. Vocabulary and Speaking. Exercise 3, page 80.
Red sky at night, shepherd's delight. Red sky in the morning, shepherd's warning. We all hope for warm and sunny weather at the weekend or during our holidays. The majority of our planned activities are based on what the weather will be like. So it is important to know ahead of time what to expect. These days, meteorologists, with the help of modern-day technology, are able to use satellite information to tell us what the weather forecast will be all around the world. It wasn't always so easy, though. In the old days, people that relied on the weather in order to do their job needed to find ways to predict what might happen. Sailors and farmers began developing techniques to figure out what the winds might do or whether any rain might be on the way. They used everything around them, including watching the clouds, observing the behavior of animals, and inspecting plants and the soil. Over the years, many sayings, rhymes, anecdotes, and stories were developed to help people prepare themselves for weather events. Many of these sayings are still used today and seem to be accurate in predicting some weather events. So, next time you want to plan a weekend away, make sure you check out the sky the night before and watch your family pet to see if the weather will be agreeable or not.
Exercise 4, page 80.
Onion skin is very thin. Mild winter is coming in. Onion skin is thick and tough. Winter will be cold and rough. Pale moon rains. Red moon blows. White moon neither rains nor snows. Evening red and morning grey, two sure signs of a fine day. Clear moon, frost soon. When seagulls fly to land, a storm is at hand. When clouds appear like rocks and towers, the earth's refreshed by frequent showers.
Exercise 7, page 81. Exercise 9, page 81. One.
We're in for frost tonight.
Oh dear, I'd better cover the tomato plants.
2.
There's going to be a shower by the looks of it.
Right. I will bring my umbrella then.
3.
Bit nippy today, isn't it?
It is. You need to wear a warm coat. 4.
What strange weather we are having.
I know. It is unusually warm today.
5.
I think it will clear up later.
I hope so. We have plans to go to the park.
6.
I heard that heavy rains are on the way.
That's good. It's been a very hot, dry summer.
7. They're expecting snow in the north.
Great! That means we can go skiing soon.
Unit 5E, Writing Skills. Exercise 1, page 82. What can we do to reduce traffic in our city? Heavy traffic is one of the most serious problems that our cities have to deal with nowadays. What can we do then to reduce traffic in our city centres? To begin with, it is important to improve public transport and to encourage people to use it to commute to work and to school. The result would be fewer cars in the city and consequently fewer traffic jams. Another solution would be to encourage people to participate in car-sharing programs. This means several employees would share one car to work instead of each coming in their own car. Again, this would reduce the number of cars on the streets. Finally, it would be a good idea to create more cycling lanes. If this was done, people would be encouraged to cycle instead of taking their car. To sum up, there are many ways to reduce traffic in the city. Applying just some of these ideas would result in a lot less traffic in our cities. Exercise 5, page 83.
Hi, Janie. Why are you looking so glum?
Oh, I don't know. It's just that it seems that everywhere I look nowadays, all I see is litter, litter, and more litter. If it isn't litter in the park and on the streets, then it's tins, bottles, and old newspapers spilling out of rubbish bins. It drives me mad.
Yes, I know. I've noticed it too. What really makes me angry is that it would be so easy to fix the problem.
What do you mean?
Well, just think about it for a second. Let's say a bunch of people in our neighbourhood got together and told the council that we wanted a recycling scheme set up. If there were enough of us, it would have to listen. And if we had a recycling scheme, then household rubbish would be put to good use, and the amount of rubbish generally would be greatly reduced.
Wow, you know, I've never thought about that, Sally.
And not only that, people who litter should be fined. When people know that they will have to pay if they do something bad, they stop doing it.
You know, that's true. Sometimes you have some really good ideas that really surprise.
Culture Corner 5. Scottish Coos. Exercise 1, page 85.
Pet the coo. When you think of Scotland, the first animal that probably comes to mind is Nessie, the legendary and shy monster from Loch Ness. However, the Scottish Highlands are home to another creature which is much easier to spot, the Highland coo. In Scotland, cows are called coos. The Highland coo is an ancient Scottish breed with long horns, long hair, and a fringe that makes it look different to other cows. Legend has it that a long time ago, a farmer wanted to impress his wife with a new variety of cow that would actually last through the long winters. The coo is also unique because it can survive on poor grazing grounds, eating plants that other animals don't. The farmer crossed a standard Hereford cow with a longer-haired, smaller cow and got one of Scotland's most popular tourist attractions. This cute animal is also known as shaggy coo or hairy coo. It has become a national symbol of Scotland and is important for farming as well as tourism. If you take a bus tour to the Scottish Highlands, don't miss the chance to take a photograph of this animal.
Science. Across the curriculum. 5. Exercise 4, page 87. A.
Tornadoes. Anytime, any place. Tornadoes are one of nature's most violent storms, and they happen in various parts of the world. They can form at any time of the year, although many occur in the spring. Round and round. A tornado is a spinning, whirling wind. When it meets with cold air, it takes the shape of a long funnel or tube, reaching down from a large cloud. It is formed when warm air near the Earth's surface rises and meets with cold air. When the weather conditions are right, this warm air starts to twist as it rises, getting faster and stronger. It is a bit like watching water disappear down the plug hole in your bathtub. If this huge, twisting rope of air hits the ground, it may cause great damage. Tornadoes can reach speeds of more than 250 miles per hour, ripping roofs from houses, uprooting trees, and tossing heavy objects like cars in the air. Measuring disasters. In 1971, a meteorologist named Theodore Fujita developed a scale to show how strong tornadoes are. His scale goes from F0 to F5. It doesn't calculate strength based on wind speeds, but the damage a tornado causes to homes and other buildings.
B.
Hail. Different sizes. Hailstones are lumps of ice. They can be as small as peas or as big as cricket balls. In Kansas, USA, a hailstone fell that was 44.5 centimeters across. Getting ready to drop. Hail is formed when raindrops start to fall. Before they reach the ground, they are blown up into the clouds again by strong winds. There, they freeze into balls of ice, and the wind in the clouds bounces them up and down. As the frozen raindrops rise and fall like this, they get even more thickly covered in ice from the water inside the clouds. Eventually, they get so heavy that they fall to the ground as hail. Easy to hear. When big hailstones fall, they make quite a noise hitting roofs and pavements. Cars and buildings are damaged, and plants and crops are destroyed. Driving during a hailstorm is also very dangerous as the roads become slippery.
Exercise 5, page 87.
Create your own tornado. A. Half fill a plastic bottle with water. B. Add tiny pieces of paper. C. Cover the top of the bottle with a piece of sticky tape. D. Poke a hole in the centre of the tape for the water to flow through. E. Turn an empty bottle of the same kind upside down on the first bottle. F. Tape the openings together with waterproof tape. G. Turn the bottles so that the one with the water is on top. H. Swirl the water around faster and faster. I. The water and tiny pieces of paper whirl like a tornado.
Module 6, Culture Exchanges. Unit 6A, Reading and Vocabulary. Exercise 1, page 90. Exercise 2, page 90.
The world is your oyster. International travel these days has become cheaper, quicker, and more convenient for many people. Here are a selection of some of the types of holidays for those with a sense of adventure. A. Sledding in Russia. This winter, why not escape to Yakutia in Russia, where you can have the experience of a lifetime driving a reindeer sled through the heart of Siberia. Wrap up in warm furs and travel through the valleys of the Lena River and over the frozen landscape just like the native Yakutian people, who have travelled this way for centuries. You can spend your evenings in traditional Russian family homes, enjoy home-cooked meals, and learn about the rich culture of these people. During your trip, you will have the chance to see all sorts of amazing wildlife, including wolves, foxes, and elk, and you will even be able to ride the famous Yakut horses. B. Camel riding in Morocco. See all of southern Morocco on a camel. Take your time and enjoy a relaxing journey from Marrakesh, with historic sights across the desert, to the Dardest Gorge. Spend a night in a nomad's tent. Visit traditional Berber villages and kasbahs. See the Atlas Mountains and relax on the beautiful beaches at Essaouira. You will see so much more than sand because Morocco has many varied landscapes, the perfect escape from a busy life. C. Wagon travel in Wyoming. Have you ever wondered what it was like back in the Wild West? Well, now you can find out for yourself with a holiday that offers the unique opportunity to see how life might have been over 150 years ago. You will travel in a convoy of covered wagons through the unspoilt countryside of Yellowstone National Park and through Wyoming, and enjoy the majestic views all around. Stopping at a different camp each day, there will be plenty of opportunities to go on nature hikes, go swimming, canoeing, horse riding, or just relax. You can spend your evenings cooking on an open fire and singing cowboy songs around the campfire. D. Ice diving in the Arctic. In the icy waters of the Arctic Ocean, you will see a strange but unique world that very few humans get the chance to visit. The Arctic is one of the last places on Earth that remains a mystery and a challenge. Not many people are brave enough to explore the region, and even fewer are brave enough to explore it from 20 feet beneath the ice. If the diving experience is not enough, you can also enjoy the scenery and wildlife above the ocean, on foot or on snowmobiles. One thing is for sure, no one else will have holiday snaps like yours.
Unit 6B. Listening and Speaking. Exercise 2, page 92. 1.
Anne, nice to see you. How was your holiday?
Holiday? It was more like a nightmare. It was horrible all week. It rained all the time, and we could never agree on what to do. Jane wouldn't even talk to me in the end. I just wanted to get home.
Oh, what a shame.
2.
Hello, Laura. Welcome back.
And I am happy to be back, trust me.
Oh, sounds like you didn't have such a nice time.
Well, at the beginning it was great, but one day I was really tired and I fell asleep on the beach. And guess what? I ended up in hospital for 3 days. It was terrible. My whole body was burnt. That was the end of my holiday.
Oh, how awful.
3.
Hi, Tony. Back from your holiday already? How was it?
Oh, don't ask.
Did you have bad weather or something?
No, Ken, it wasn't that. We decided to rent a car to tour the island, but it broke down and we had to spend the night at the side of the road. I didn't sleep, and of course I was exhausted for the rest of the stay.
Oh, you poor thing.
Exercise 4, page 92.
Welcome back, Bella. How was your holiday?
Hi, Andrew. It was fantastic. It's a shame you didn't come.
OK, don't make me jealous. Just tell me all about it.
Well, Greece was amazing. I took lots of pictures, but I got sunstroke.
How awful.
Well, I should have been more careful. Anyway, after Greece, I went to Italy, but I got seasick on the ferry.
Oh, poor thing. Hope it didn't spoil your holiday.
No, not at all. Italy was fantastic. The people are very friendly and I loved Italian cuisine. You have to go to Rome someday. It's beautiful.
Yes, maybe next year. Did you manage to go to Spain?
Yes, but I had a bit of trouble in Barcelona.
Really? What happened?
My purse was stolen while I was waiting for a bus. Luckily, there wasn't much money in it.
That's bad luck.
I know, but these things happen and I didn't let it spoil my holiday.
Good for you. Anyway, the important thing is that you're back safe and sound and you had a good time.
That's true. And I'm thinking of going back next year if you're interested.
Sounds good.
Exercise 6, page 93.
1. Listen to a short radio announcement. What does it advise listeners to do?
Motorists are advised of long delays on the M6 due to an overturned lorry. Police are diverting traffic onto the A6, but long delays are expected. Extra rail services are being provided, and police recommend that commuters take advantage of these services.
2. Listen to a woman talking about a holiday she went on. What did she find surprising?
It was very hot and the heat took a while to get used to. The food was very different to what we eat at home too. Then we had to work out the cost of everything in our currency when we bought things. But amazingly, the language wasn't a problem at all, because almost everyone spoke English.
3. Listen to a man talking about his fear of flying. When is he most relaxed?
I hate it when they start the engines. I'm all on edge and I get this funny feeling in my stomach when the plane takes off. After that, it's not too bad. And when I look down at the clouds below, I feel all right. It's the landing, though, that makes me really nervous. I just can't wait till it's over and I can get off and pick up my suitcases.
4. Listen to a woman talking about a new airport. What is her opinion of it?
It looks very modern, but I don't know what was wrong with the old airport. It was much easier to get to. I just jumped in a taxi and I was there in 15 minutes.
5. Listen to an advert for a website. Who is the website for?
On our website, the information is clear and easy to read in a simple window. Drop-down menus enable the visitor to easily plan and book hotels and destinations. We have an excellent list of private hotels and guest houses with honest reviews and lots of tips about the best restaurants, beaches, and places to visit. So, go to www.getaway.
Exercise 7A, page 93. 1. That's absolutely brilliant. 2. That really drives me mad. 3. Oh, thank goodness. 4. Really? What happened? 5. I don't quite understand that. 6. Why do these things keep happening to me? Unit 6D, Vocabulary and Speaking. Exercise 2B, page 96.
Full steam ahead. Nowadays, there are so many means of transport, from bicycles and buses to sports cars and jet airplanes, that travellers are spoilt for choice. In fact, most of us don't even think about how we travel. Plane or train, it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, it's just about getting from one place to the other. There are, however, some means of transport that have made an impression on people and have taken their place in history. One means of transport that truly won the hearts of many Americans was the river steamboat. A steamboat, as its name indicates, is a boat that is powered by steam. The steam rotates a paddle wheel or propeller that in turn causes the boat to move forward. In the 18th century, there were many attempts to build better vessels, but it wasn't until 1807 that the first successful steamboat, the Clermont, made a commercial voyage. These riverboats became popular in the next few years and were used to transport passengers and merchandise on the major rivers of America. The Mississippi River was especially known for its riverboats, and Mark Twain celebrated 3 steamboats in his book Life on the Mississippi. Steamboats have now disappeared from most American rivers, but they have become a symbol of the Mississippi River. Many people think of these boats when they hear the name Mississippi. Fortunately, a small number of them are being used today to offer river cruises, so some people can get a feel of what it's like to travel by steamboat.
Exercise 4, page 96.
I usually travel by bus, but I don't really like to. You wait at the bus stop for ages, and then, when the bus does finally come, it's really crowded. I prefer cycling. I love travelling by bike. You don't get stuck in traffic, it's free, and it keeps you fit too. All my friends go to school on their bikes, but my mum won't let me. She says it's too dangerous.
My favourite means of transport is actually the train. It's usually a fast way to travel, and I love looking out of the window at the beautiful countryside. I don't mind travelling by car either, but I live in a big city, so there's always a lot of traffic, which of course I don't enjoy. On the whole, catching the train is a more pleasant way to travel, in my opinion.
When we go on holiday as a family, we either go by coach, plane or boat. I'm not very keen on travelling by coach because you can't move around a lot and the journey can be really long. I love it when we go by boat because you can walk around or go outside and look out to sea. It's a really interesting way to travel. Travelling by plane's okay too because it's usually the fastest way to travel. But sometimes I feel nervous of flying and the seats can be quite uncomfortable.
Exercise 6, page 96. Exercise 9B, page 97. One.
Is there a buffet car?
I'm afraid not.
2. What is the boarding time?
The plane is boarding in 30 minutes and you leave from gate 15.
3.
Single or return?
Return, please.
4.
How do I get to Manchester University?
Stay in the left-hand lane and turn left at the next set of traffic lights onto Oxford Road.
5.
What terminal does it leave from?
It's a UK domestic flight, so it's Terminal 3.
6.
How much is the fare?
It's £150 peak time, or if you travel off-peak between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m, it's only £65.
7.
What platform does it leave from?
Platform 12. 8.
What stop do I need to get off at?
The stop on Fairfield Street.
9.
Would you like a window or an aisle seat?
A window seat, please.
Exercise 10, page 97. 1. Welcome aboard the 10:15 intercity service from London to Manchester. This service will be calling at Milton Keynes, Birmingham, and finally Manchester Piccadilly, arriving at 14:35. The buffet car is situated towards the front, between first class and carriage A, and serves a selection of hot and cold drinks and snacks. 2.
Good morning, this is your Captain Mark Johnson speaking. Welcome aboard flight BA345 to Madrid, Spain. Our flight time today will be 2 hours and 5 minutes. We'll be flying over the English Channel and then passing over Paris and then down through France, across the Pyrenees into Spain and then finally on towards Madrid. You'll be pleased to know that the current weather conditions in Madrid are warm and sunny. Now I'll hand you over to your flight attendants today, Kelly, Sue and Tony.
3.
Hello and welcome aboard this National Express service to Edinburgh. I'm Andy, your driver for this journey. First of all, I'd like to apologise for the late departure of this service. This was due to heavy traffic on the outskirts of London. Please note that this is a non-smoking service. Unfortunately, there is no toilet on board, but don't worry because we will be making 2 short stops on our journey.
Culture Corner 6. Liquid History. Exercise 2B, page 101.
The Thames. London would not be London without the River Thames. It flows 250 miles across the English countryside and then through the heart of the great city before it reaches the sea. The Thames has played an extremely important part in making England what it is today. England had very few roads in the past, so the Thames provided a major highway between London and many parts of the country. People could also send supplies of food and other goods to and from London by boat. In times of war, London was protected from sea attacks because they built castles and forts at the mouth of the river. People from the London area got their drinking water from the Thames, and thirsty cows and sheep were a common sight along its banks. With the Industrial Revolution in the 18th century, the Thames became one of the busiest waterways in the world. Factories made and exported goods of all kinds. So people became rich, and many of them built beautiful houses along the banks of the river. The famous writer Charles Dickens spent part of his childhood there, and later wrote about the Thames in his books. Today, the Thames has become a symbol of London, just as much as Big Ben or Buckingham Palace. If you take a stroll along its banks, you'll have a day full of pleasant surprises. You can admire bridges built in many different architectural styles. The most famous one is probably Tower Bridge, which actually opens up 1,000 times a year to let ships through. Or you might be lucky enough to see London's rowing event, the Oxford and Cambridge Boat Race, which takes place on the river every spring. Whether you're a Londoner or a visitor, the Thames will always have something to offer you.
Going Green 6. Exercise 5, page 103.
World monuments in danger. Acid rain is rain that contains particles of acid. It is mainly caused by burning fossil fuels. Acid rain is bad for the environment, and many of the world's historic monuments are badly damaged by it. The Statue of Liberty in New York was a gift from the French people to the American people, and is a universal symbol of freedom and democracy. Millions of people visit this great monument every year. For many years now, acid rain has been damaging the statue and has even changed its colour. The Lishan giant Buddha is located in the eastern side of the Mui River in the Sichuan province of China. It is 70.7 metres high. Begun in 713 AD and finished in 803 AD, the statue took people more than 90 years to carve from stone. It is the world's largest stone Buddha. It was nearly destroyed by wind erosion and acid rain before 1963, when the Chinese government began to repair it. Nowadays, the maintenance work is still in progress in an effort to restore this beautiful monument. The Great Sphinx in Giza is one of the most fascinating historical monuments of all, and a national symbol of all ancient and modern Egypt. It was built about 4,500 years ago, and is the biggest stone sculpture made by man. Every year, millions of tourists come to see the Sphinx. Unfortunately, wind, smog, and acid rain are putting this wonderful monument in danger. If we want to reduce acid rain, we must burn less fossil fuels. Burning coal, oil, and gas releases huge amounts of sulfur into the atmosphere. This is what creates acid rain. The best way to solve the problem is to use alternative energy sources to produce our electricity. Factories which use solar and wind power instead of the traditional fossil fuels can really help the environment. Another thing we can do is make cars and other vehicles more environmentally friendly. We need to stop using petrol. Instead, we can use cars that are electrically powered or run on some other fuel. In this way, the atmosphere will be cleaner and our monuments will stay beautiful.
Module 7, Education. Unit 7A, Reading and Vocabulary. Exercise 2, page 106.
Generation M. It's 7:30 p.m. at Lisa's house, and she's in her room doing her homework. However, homework is just one of the things she's doing while her eyes are fixed on the computer screen. As well as studying for her biology exam, Lisa is also listening to music, chatting with her best friend online, downloading songs, and occasionally texting people on her mobile phone.
My parents keep telling me off for multitasking while studying, but they don't understand that it helps me concentrate,
she says. It's not unusual for human beings to do several things at the same time, but in our fast-paced technological society, the situation has come to a head. Young people today spend nearly 6.5 hours a day using various types of media, doing different things at the same time. This is the reason why they are called the multitasking generation, or Generation M. But how do their brains deal with multitasking? Automatic actions like walking and chatting on the phone can be done at the same time. But when it comes to learning new information, multitasking has a bad impact,
Multitasking affects how you learn in a negative way.
says Russell Poldrack, Associate Professor of Psychology at UCLA. Dividing your attention between too many activities makes the knowledge you gain harder to use later on. The researchers are not saying you shouldn't multitask, just don't multitask while you are trying to learn something new. According to specialists, it is also essential to take time away from electronic media.
At the sound of the bell, all my students reach into their bags and grab their mobile phones to text message their friends. It is as if they are afraid of silence,
says Casey Roberts, a secondary school teacher.
Their MP3 players, laptops and games consoles have become extensions of themselves. I really think that Generation M should take time to relax and reflect. There's life beyond the screen, and the pleasure of face-to-face communication can be neither denied nor replaced.
Unit 7B. Listening and Speaking. Exercise 1, page 108. 1.
You can do it, Ben! Yes! That's another 2 points for our team. Well done, everyone. It looks like we might win the game now.
2.
Can you see it clearly now? Tell me what it looks like.
It looks strange, like a bunch of grapes. I can also see something brown.
Good. Now draw a picture and look in your textbook to see what kind of fungus it is.
3. Are you getting on all right, Sarah?
Yes, I've found lots of information for my project now. Can I print this picture?
Yes, but make sure you send it to the colour printer. Exercise 6A, page 108.
So, how did you do?
Pretty well. All the questions I expected came up. How about you?
Not so good. I messed up 4 of the questions.
What? So many? How come?
I left my revision to the last moment, so I didn't have time to revise everything.
Don't tell me you tried to do it all in the last few days before the exam.
I know, I really let myself down.
You should have prepared better.
That's easier said than done, but you're right. I should have revised more.
You should indeed. Anyway, there's no point worrying now. Wait until you get your results. You can always retake it.
I guess you're right. Let's forget about the exams and go have a coffee.
That's the spirit.
Exercise 8, page 109. 1. Listen to a boy talking about an exam. How does he feel?
I felt really nervous when I went into the exam room, as I was expecting the worst. I thought the questions would be much harder, actually, but thankfully I managed to answer everything quite easily, and I had plenty of time to check my work at the end. I'm so happy it's all over. I just have to wait for the results now.
2. Listen to the announcement. Where would you expect to hear it?
Due to the bad weather, we will be closing after lunch today. Lesson 5 will end at 12:45 and the lunch break will last 40 minutes, not the usual 50. When the bell rings, Year 7 and 8 pupils should go to the canteen without delay, so that everyone can have their lunch quickly. At the end of the lunch break, you should board your bus immediately.
3. Listen to a girl talking about her French teacher. What is the problem?
I like learning French, but I wish we could have more fun in the lessons. I can't relax in Mrs. Moreau's class. It is really difficult to learn when you are feeling scared. When I answer in class, she always corrects every little thing. I get so nervous now. And when I get my homework back, I am almost always disappointed. She never gives me an A or a B, only a C.
4. Listen to a teacher talking about an incident at school. Why was the student kept back after school?
There will be another student in detention today, Mr. Kerr. Jason Green. This is the second time this year that I have caught him decorating the walls of the science block. He must learn to respect the school building. He should find somewhere else to use his artistic talents, if you ask me.
5. Listen to a woman talking. What did she do well in?
I think I did well. I was in there for over an hour. They were really interested to hear about my experience in marketing and sales. I spoke a lot, but I also asked a lot of questions as well. I am really interested in working for them. They're a good company, and there would be possibilities for promotion in a few years. Anyway, let's hope they offer me the position.
Exercise 9A, page 109. John was here at 5 o'clock yesterday. Don't say that he wasn't. John was here at 5 o'clock yesterday. John, not someone else. John was here at 5 o'clock yesterday, not at 6 o'clock. John was here at 5 o'clock yesterday, not the day before. Unit 7D, Vocabulary and Speaking. Exercise 2, page 112.
Koala Mum rescued.
When I got the call from a family that there was a koala in their backyard, I thought it was just going to be a routine call.
These words came from Vicky Pender of the Queensland Parks and Wildlife Services. Koala bears roam around in search of food. If they see a eucalyptus tree, they go straight for it, regardless of where it is.
When I got there, it was obvious the koala was restless. I had to give her an injection to calm her down. Just then, I heard a loud cry from a tree nearby. It was her little Joey screaming for its mum.
Joey is what a baby koala is called. Vicky realised just then how critical it was to help the mother koala. Baby koalas, or joeys, are completely dependent on their mums and have very specialised diets. They cannot survive on their own for very long.
At that point, I turned my attention to the baby and coaxed it out of the tree.
Luckily, Mum and Joey were rescued and had a short stay in the animal hospital. Before long, they were released into the wild again. Together, they disappeared into the leaves, happy to settle in for some dinner.
Exercise 5, page 112. A.
Temperatures are going to rise over the weekend, and most of the country should enjoy some sunshine on Saturday and Sunday. There is a risk of showers in the northeast, however, and it will feel slightly cooler in the north of England and Scotland, with temperatures reaching only 16 degrees Celsius. In the south, temperatures should reach 19 degrees, much warmer than we normally expect at this time of the year.
B.
You've been very quiet tonight.
I'm sorry, Dave.
No, don't apologise. It was a compliment.
What? Am I so impossible to live with?
Now that you mention it...
C.
And now a reminder of today's top stories. A strong earthquake measuring 7.4 on the Richter scale has hit the island of Martinique in the Caribbean. According to early reports, only 2 people have been injured, but several buildings have collapsed in the capital, Fort-de-France. The earthquake struck at 3 p.m. local time.
Culture Corner 7. Exercise 3, page 117.
Trinity College, Dublin. 400 years of history. If asked what Jonathan Swift, Oscar Wilde and Samuel Beckett have in common, most people would correctly reply that they are famous writers. But did you know that they all graduated from the oldest and most prestigious university in Ireland? Trinity College at the University of Dublin has an interesting history. The university was founded in 1592 in the heart of Dublin, the capital of Ireland. At first, everything went well and the university grew slowly. Then, in the middle of the 17th century, life at the university became difficult because of 2 wars in the country. Fortunately, the university survived, and from then on, many wealthy families began to send their sons there for a good education. Today, Trinity College is among the top 40 universities in the world for arts and humanities, and it attracts students from all 5 continents. It is also one of Ireland's leading historical sites. It has a uniquely beautiful library that contains 4.25 million books, including the Book of Kells, one of the most precious medieval books in existence. Over 500,000 visitors come to see this book and the library every year. It is truly a great university.
ICT. Across the Curriculum 7. Exercise 3B, page 119.
Using a computer network. Networks are groups of computers, software, and hardware that are all connected to help the users work together. They are typically found in businesses, schools and colleges, internet cafes and libraries. A network connects computers by using cabling systems, special software and devices that handle the flow of data. A network allows users to share files and resources, such as printers, as well as send email to each other. So, as with any other shared resource, it is important to be responsible and think about other users. There are a number of things to keep in mind when using a computer network, such as: do not share computer passwords. Do not overuse resources such as online connection time or printers. Use it only to help you with your studies. Do not use it for anything illegal, unethical or dishonest, e.g., bullying other students or damaging equipment. Do not copy other people's work, either other students or online information. This is called plagiarism and has serious consequences, especially concerning copyrighted material. Remember, information on the internet may not always be copyrighted, but it is there to give you the facts and ideas for your own piece of writing and not to be copied and pasted into a new document. Do not install any software without permission. Be aware of computer viruses and try to protect the network from them by following security procedures.
Module 8. Pastimes. Unit 8A. Reading and Vocabulary. Exercise 1, page 122.
Out of the ordinary. Brian Potter has been sandboarding for the past 7 years. He loves it because he can do it pretty much anywhere there is sand. He says,
I'm a real speed freak, and I find nothing more exciting than to take out my board and whiz down the sand dunes.
The general idea of sandboarding is the same as snowboarding. People simply strap a board to their feet and slide down a hill. Brian says,
Last year, I entered the International Sandboarding Championships in Germany. There were around 50,000 entrants, and I came 100th, so I was pretty proud.
Carla Murphy is known in certain circles as a Zorbanaut. This is because she spends some of her free time inside a large inflatable plastic ball called a Zorb.
Zorbing is so much fun. I just can't get enough,
she says. Zorbing involves rolling down a steep hill strapped inside a ball which can reach speeds of up to 50 to 60 kilometers per hour if the hill is steep enough. Up to 3 people can be inside at the same time.
It's fantastic. You're totally protected from bumps and knocks by the Zorb, but you bounce around as if you are weightless. Anyone from 6 to 60 can do it,
Carla explains. This bizarre activity originated in New Zealand, and now there are centres all around the world. Carla thinks it's great.
When we start rolling, we just start laughing and we can't stop.
Paul Lynch has been practising ice climbing for several years now and has climbed many frozen waterfalls.
My parents took me skiing to the Alps when I was a child, and ever since I've been addicted to the mountains. I moved to Canada a few years ago and I fell in love with ice climbing. I spend most of my free time climbing ice in the Rockies. Basically, ice climbing involves swinging an axe into the ice above your head and pulling yourself up on it. You need a lot of equipment such as a helmet, rope and boots for ice climbing. And of course, it's very physical, so you really have to be in good shape,
says Paul. Harry Bolton didn't really like sport at all until he discovered something both new and unusual.
I was listening to the radio one day when I heard something that I thought must have been a joke. The DJ was talking about underwater hockey. When I realised it actually was a real sport, I decided to find out more about it. To my surprise, I found a local team, and before I knew it, I was part of it.
Unlike water polo, where the action takes place above the water, underwater hockey is played at the bottom of the pool. Players wear masks, flippers and snorkels during the game.
The rules are really simple. You just have to slide the puck into the opposing team's goal,
says Harry. Underwater hockey was invented by a British diving club in 1954 and was originally called Octopush. Harry told us,
Unfortunately, it's not much of a spectator sport. As all people watching from outside the pool can see, are lots of splashing and flippers.
Unit 8B. Listening and Speaking. Exercise 1, page 124. Windsurfing. Squash. Cricket. Rugby. Badminton. Long jump. High jump. Tennis. Water polo. Javelin throwing. Volleyball. Scuba diving. Hurdles. Ice hockey. Aerobics. Karate. Gymnastics. Basketball. Snowboarding. Jogging. Climbing. Cycling. Football. Golf. Swimming. Exercise 4, page 124. Bill.
I am on both my school team and a local team, so I have training most evenings and play in matches at the weekends. Actually, last season I was the top scorer on my school team. My sport means everything to me. Even when I'm not playing, I'm kicking a ball around in the garden.
Amanda.
My dad and I have been in my village team for about 3 years now. I've been getting a lot better lately, apparently. I've caught a few really difficult balls recently, and I scored the most runs I had ever scored in last week's match. A lot of people say it's quite boring to watch a whole match because it can be quite a slow game. But my family enjoy coming down to the green and watching me play on Sunday afternoons, especially when it's my turn to bat.
Steve.
I have always lived by the sea, so I love all kinds of water sports. But this is definitely my favourite. It was quite difficult to learn at first because you have to pull up the sail, which is quite heavy, and keep your balance at the same time. Now I'm actually quite good and have even won a few competitions recently. I can't describe to you how amazing it is to feel the power of the wind pushing you through the waves.
Exercise 6B, page 124.
Are you doing anything after school?
Yes, I'm going to play tennis.
Really? Where are you going to play?
At the courts, just behind my house.
Oh, I didn't know there were courts there.
They're not easy to see from the street. Do you like tennis?
Yes, I love tennis. I used to play a bit in my old town.
Are you any good at it?
I'm not bad.
Good. Do you fancy coming along?
I'd love to, but I don't have my racket with me.
That's all right. You can borrow my spare one.
Great! Shall we meet outside school then?
Exercise 8, page 125.
We spoke to some young people to find out about what sports they play and what they like about them.
Speaker 1.
I love tennis. I've been playing since I was quite young. At first, I used to play just for fun, but now I take part in different tournaments around the country. I've even won some prize money.
Speaker 2.
Football is my life, and I play as often as I can. Recently, I left my boots in another team's changing rooms, and I missed a match because I didn't realise. I was more upset about that than losing my boots.
Speaker 3.
In the winter, I go snowboarding as often as I can. Even though I've been doing it for a long time now, still nothing beats the thrill of sliding fast down a mountain. It still gives me a real rush of energy and an amazing feeling of excitement every time I do it.
Speaker 4.
I started swimming as part of my therapy after I broke my leg. After my leg was better, I carried on going because I loved it so much. I go at least 3 times a week now.
Speaker 5. My sport is ice skating. I've been doing it for quite a long time now, but I don't take it very seriously. I'm not at all bothered about competing. I just do it because I enjoy it and for the exercise. Exercise 9, page 125. One.
Are you doing anything special tonight?
No, not really.
2.
Do you fancy joining us tonight?
I'm afraid I can't.
3.
I'm afraid I can't join you at the cricket match.
That's a pity.
4.
Would you like to go swimming later?
Sure, why not?
5.
What about watching the match tonight?
Sorry, I'm busy.
Exercise 10, page 125. 1. Let's meet at the front gate around 4:30 p.m. 2.
I don't play squash very often. Maybe 2 or 3 times a month.
3.
If you really like badminton, we can arrange to play together sometime.
4.
It's a pity you can't join us at the swimming pool. Maybe some other time.
Unit 8D, Vocabulary and Speaking. Exercise 1, page 128.
FIFA World Cup. Every 4 years, billions of spectators watch their national teams take part in the Football World Cup. It is a moment that all football fans look forward to. In fact, the FIFA World Cup is probably the most important sport event in the world. The World Cup was created in the 1930s, when Jules Rimet, a French football official, came up with the idea of bringing the best football teams in the world together to play against one another for the title of world champions. There was great enthusiasm for his idea, and the first FIFA World Cup was organised in Uruguay in 1930. The host team won the first World Cup when they beat Argentina 4-2. Since then, almost 20 World Cup tournaments have been played, and the competition has often surprised fans around the world. Everyone was amazed when the USA beat England 1-0 in 1950. The 1966 World Cup surprised many fans when Italy lost 1-0 to North Korea. And Northern Ireland took everyone by surprise when they beat the host team Spain 1-0 in 1982. Many legends and many football records have also been made during the World Cup. The Irish 17-year-old, Norman Whiteside, was the youngest player to ever play in a World Cup. And Pelé was the youngest to ever score in a match and win the World Cup. Ronaldo is the top scorer in World Cup history, with 15 goals. Football history is made every 4 years at the FIFA World Cup. Whatever the results, the championship brings people from every region of the world together in the spirit of fun and sport.
Exercise 4, page 128. One, rugby pitch. 2, cricket pitch. 3, hockey pitch. 4, football pitch. 5, golf course. 6, tennis court. 7, badminton court. 8, squash court. 9, basketball court. 10, ice skating rink. Unit 8E, Writing Skills. Exercise 2, page 130.
Yes, can I help you?
Oh, yes please. I'd like to join the swimming club.
OK, let me just fill in an application form for you. What's your surname, please?
Davis. That's D-A-V-I-S.
OK, and your first name?
Peter.
Date of birth?
It's the 2nd of the 10th, 1995.
Right, and could you give me a telephone number, please?
Sure. It's 976 5054.
976 5054. OK, got it. And would you like to give us an email address too? We sometimes email our members with special offers or notices.
Oh, that's good. My email address is sdavis123@gmail.com.
OK, and could you give us an emergency contact number, please? You can give us the number of a close relative or friend.
OK, I'll give you my mum's mobile number. It's 0786 213 2091.
0786 2132091. Is that right?
Yes.
OK, and the address, please?
17 King Street.
OK, and which swimming sessions do you think you'll be attending?
What are the choices?
There's Monday, Wednesday or Friday.
Wednesday, I think.
OK, I'll tick Wednesday and you can always change your mind later.
OK, thanks.
Now, just a couple more questions. Do you have any health problems at all, such as asthma?
No, none.
OK, that's great. And finally, do you already have any swimming certificates at all?
No, actually, I'm a total beginner.
OK, that's fine. Right, that's everything. Welcome to Brighton Swimming Club.
Thanks. Bye.
Culture Corner 8. Exercise 1, page 133. Exercise 5, page 133.
Mascots. Schools, colleges, sports teams, charities, and even breakfast cereals have all used a grown man in a cuddly animal costume to help their image. These mascots attract publicity and promote public relations. Many English football clubs have an official mascot. They represent the team and hopefully bring them good luck as well. Here are 3 of the most famous ones. Gunnosaurus Rex is a friendly dinosaur. He has been the mascot for Arsenal Football Club since 1993. Gunnosaurus has proved to be very lucky so far. Since he has been with the club, they have won 13 titles, including the FA Cup and the European Winners' Cup. Gunnosaurus sometimes follows his team around Europe, making appearances in Champions League matches too. He is one of the most respected mascots in football, and all the fans love him. Billy Bantam is one of the Bradford City AFC team mascots. Billy is a tall brown hen with a big yellow beak, dressed in his team's purple and yellow striped kit. Billy always wanders onto the football pitch, waving to the fans before the game and at half-time. It seems that he's quite a good goalkeeper himself, and he sometimes takes part in penalty shootouts with other mascots and children. Fred the Red is the mascot at Manchester United Football Club. He is a big, cute red devil, dressed in a Manchester United kit. He usually appears before kick-off and at half-time during home games. He is very popular with the younger children. Like many other mascots, Fred often does charity work. In 2004, he abseiled down the side of Manchester United Stadium to raise money for charity.
Going Green, 8. Exercise 4, page 135.
Project Aware. We all have our favourite sports or free time activities. But how many of us think about the effect they can have on the environment? Trekking in the mountains, fishing in a lake, or scuba diving near a coral reef are all examples of ways in which we interact with the environment through our sports. This means that we should take measures not to harm the environment and to leave it exactly as we found it. Project Aware was founded in 2002 by the Professional Association of Diving Instructors in Switzerland. It is a non-profit organisation whose main aim is to educate divers on how to respect and conserve the underwater environment. They believe that we need to protect the aquatic world from pollution and protect endangered species. In this way, future generations will be able to enjoy the beauty of our oceans. Project Aware provides education for adults and children on aquatic life, such as coral reefs, turtles, sharks, and whales. It also organizes competitions in underwater photography. But it doesn't stop there. Project Aware volunteers take action to conserve the underwater environment. Every year in April, divers and volunteers take part in the festivities of Earth Day. Also, every September, thousands of divers participate in International Cleanup Day by picking up rubbish from shorelines and the seabed. Their work is really making a difference, and thanks to them, our coastlines, beaches, and our underwater world will keep their natural beauty.
Song sheets. Module 1. Page SS1.
I see you every morning. You always look so nice. But how can I approach you? How can I break the ice? There's just something about you. You stand out in a crowd. One day I'll have the confidence to say these words out loud. I want to get to know you, but every time I try, my confidence escapes me. I always feel so shy. There's just something about you. You stand out in a crowd. One day I'll have the confidence to say these words out loud. I want to ask you something, but I don't know what to say. My palms sweat and I turn red. I have to look away. There's just something about you. You stand out in a crowd. One day I'll have the confidence to say these words out loud. There's just something about you. You stand out in a crowd. One day I'll have the confidence to say these words out loud. There's just something about you. There's just something about you.
Module 2. Page SS1.
Everyone can play their part to help all those in need. You can make a difference with just a small good deed. You might not have much money or much spare time to give, but you can still help others. You can change the way they live. Give something to charity. You can find a way. You can help so easily. Change the world today. We have far more than we need, which doesn't seem quite fair. You have books that you don't read and clothes you never wear. Someone else can use the things you don't need anymore. Little things you give away can help to feed the poor.
Module 3, page SS2.
From children through to adulthood, we change at every turn. As life brings opportunities and lessons we can learn. Life truly is a miracle. We're changing day to day. Our looks, our personalities, the things we do and say. We change the way we speak and act, the way we think and feel, as we move through life's cycle on that ever-spinning wheel. We have a fresh start every day. The world is bright and new. So many possibilities, there's nothing we can do. Life truly is a miracle. We're changing day to day. Our looks, our personalities, the things we do and say. We change the way we speak and act, the way we think and feel, as we move through life's cycle on that ever-spinning wheel. Life truly is a miracle. We're changing day to day. Our looks, our personalities, the things we do and say. We change the way we speak and act, the way we think and feel, as we move through life's cycle on that ever-spinning wheel.
Module 4, page SS2.
It's easy when you're in your teens to look at glossy magazines and feel there's something wrong with you. Why don't you look like models do? Don't get stressed, don't get obsessed. Forget your looks, you know it's best. What matters more is who you are. Just be yourself, 'cause you're a star. The mirror shows the outer you, and what's inside is good and true. Don't change your looks, don't run and hide. Your beauty comes from the inside. Don't get stressed, don't get obsessed. Forget your looks, you know it's best. What matters more is who you are. Just be yourself, 'cause you're a star. Hang on to your self-esteem. The perfect body is a dream. So put aside your vanity and just enjoy reality. Don't get stressed, don't get obsessed. Forget your looks, You know it's best. What matters more is who you are. Just be yourself, 'cause you're a star.
Module 5, page SS3.
The weather's bad, I don't feel down. Put on your smile, forget your frown. Through wind and hail, through any storm, I'll try to keep you dry and warm. Rain or shine, I'm here for you. There's nothing that I wouldn't do. The weather changes every day, but I'm your friend. I'm here to stay. Falling heavily, you know you've got a friend in me. The wind may blow, the rain may fall, but I will be here through it all. Rain or shine, I'm here for you. There's nothing that I wouldn't do. The weather changes every day, I'm your friend, I'm here to stay. Rain or shine, I'm here for you. There's nothing that I wouldn't do. The weather changes every day, but I'm your friend. I'm here to stay.
Module 6, page SS3.
The world is our oyster, that's what people say. We can go anywhere, let's leave today. We'll visit the places we've seen on TV. The whole world is waiting, there's so much to see. The world is our oyster, that's what people say. We can go anywhere, let's leave today. We'll
Module 7, page SS4.
It doesn't matter where I go, I never feel alone. I can chat or send a text on my brand new mobile phone. I take my laptop everywhere, I use it all the time. And thanks to wireless internet, I can always be online. My friends say I'm a tech addict, but even if they're right, technology's the future, and the future's looking bright. I love the latest music, but I never buy CDs. It makes more sense to go online and download MP3s. My iPod and my games console are things I'd hate to lose. My gadgets keep me entertained anytime I choose. My friends say I'm a tech addict, but even if they're right, technology's the future, and the future's looking bright. My friends say I'm a tech addict, but even if they're right, technology's the future, and the future's looking bright. My friends say I'm a tech addict, but even if they're right, technology's the future, and the future's looking bright. My friends say I'm a tech addict, but even if they're right, technology's the future, and the future's looking bright.
Module 8, page SS4.
Give me a racket, a bat or a ball. I love sports, I can do them all. I've tried ice hockey and rugby too. Different sports are fun to do. Try something different, do something great. Feel the excitement and don't hesitate. Get the ball rolling, you'll feel so free. Be a sport champion, just like me. Put on a swimsuit, we'll swim in the sea. Put on some boots and play football with me. Put on some ice skates, we'll skate on the ice. Just join in the action and don't think twice. Try something different, do something great. Feel the excitement and don't hesitate. Get the ball rolling, you'll feel so free. Be a sport champion, just like me.